Big concerns again for Manchester United. Is the injury jinx returning as our new signing Nusail Mazraoui has undergone a heart procedure? I'll tell you details of it and when he's likely to be back. Meanwhile, our former player Phil Jones has come out and hit hard at Erik Ten Hag and his methods, and I'll tell you why. What he's saying could be largely true because, first of all, he's working with the under 18s at Manchester United, but also he seems to be in agreement with Benny McCarthy and what he said in recent weeks. What does that mean? Welcome to the United on Sport. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. And here again to give you today's beat of the doors about Manchester United, the beloved club. Where are you catching us from, fam? I saw people in Malawi, people in Zambia, a few in Germany. I know there is a lady, Namutebi Rita, who is in Saudi Arabia. I know you, so many of you catching us from all corners of the world. Beautiful stuff you're doing, and thank you. Keep sharing, liking, and of course, commenting on our videos. But let's get into it, guys. First of all, sad news. I hate to start with the sad news, but here's the thing. Nusail Mazraoui, our £12.5 million signing, has undergone a minor heart procedure after experiencing palpitations in recent days. That is why he was pulled out of the Morocco squad for the upcoming Africa World Cup, for the coming friendlies. He's also of course, a player that we know has certainly been important for Man United. He missed a few minutes, I think, the second half of the last game we played. That was a sign that wasn't okay. So those palpitations are why they didn't risk him. But it is a normal thing. It happens in football. I know hard things are always scary, but it is nothing unheard of in football, and there is nothing to be worried about. According to the club, the statement from the club says that he will be back in just a few weeks. So just be sure Masrai won't be out for too long. How soon will he return? They say a few weeks. Let's hope it is as few as they can be, because without a shadow of a doubt, we do need Nusail Mazraoui fit. Otherwise, Diogo Dalot might have to be sent back to the right, and then we start struggling with the left back position. But also, we are hoping that that Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malaysia do return sooner rather than later after the international break. So his stuff, of course, to do with injuries still hitting Manchester United. But, well, the focus for many is still on the manager. And let's get into the manager talk now. Because, listen, I don't want to give you those bad nights of the so many injuries to Kobe. I told you Ahmad is ill. I told you Harry Maguire. I told you Mason Mount. I told you Garnacho pulled out of the Argentina squad. We don't want to go back there, really. We don't want to go back there. I mean, just a few days ago, it was a mental health day. I'm not going there. Let's get into the talk of the manager, because now Phil Jones is speaking in an interview with his former centre-back partner. That is the legend, former captain of Man United, Rio Ferdinand. Gave quite an expose of Erik Ten Hag and his methods. Now, here are the things that Phil Jones said, and I'll tell you what I picked from them. I think he gave us hints that actually Erik Ten Hag might not be good enough to handle the players today, because he spoke of, and these are things I spoke about here, honestly. Sometimes these guys say things and I'm like, are they watching the United Sport? He spoke about Erik Ten Hag and his lack of passion, which Benny McCarthy spoke about, but also the lack of that fire that he passes on to the players that will get the players wanting to fight for him and play with him. That gets the players on the pitch feel like he is going through every feeling and emotion through the game, the fire and the fight with them. For me, I said it before. Phil Jones said it today. Players need a bit of passion, and he mentioned names of the best coaches, like I did here. The best coaches, if you talk about Mikel Arteta, if you talk about Alonso, talk about Diego Simeone, talk about now Vincent Kompany, talk about Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, name them. They have that touchline fire that they pass on to the fans and the players. Erik Ten Hag, it does not have that. He spoke about Erik Ten Hag's fascination with, making overloads and, and scoring so many goals and all. And he said maybe clubs need to go back to the basics before you get into that. And it's not bad to score so many goals because football has changed a bit. You need to get the basics right. And the basics are, these are fundamentals of football. You've got to run, from the first to the 90th minute. You've got to win duels. You've got to fight. Man United players are not doing that, and it's not even about tactics. That he was saying these players are lazy. They are not fighting. They are not, grinding things out. They are not playing, and that's a sign that maybe they are not willing to die. But now, what then should we be interrogating? Should they die for the manager? Because I think playing for Man United should be an honor for every player, that you shouldn't need. I was listening to Andy Cole and he said the same thing, that playing for Man United, you shouldn't fight for the manager, whether you like the manager or not. The fact that the manager has selected you and put you out there on the pitch, given you the honor to start a game, to be on the pitch for Man United, you've got to fight for your family, for your friends, for your people, for yourself, for everyone you care about, for the fans, for the badge. But these players don't seem to have that in them. Now, people will say they are not playing for the manager. And I spoke about the manager first, saying himself, his natural personality does not really show a manager who is there's no love affair between him and the players, if you know what I mean. But the thing is, the players themselves are not doing enough even for themselves. Do they know how much an honor it is for them to be putting on the Man United jersey? They don't seem to do it. So and that's why I've been consistently saying that the issues with Man United are both to be blamed on the players, of course, and the manager. Each has their part to play. The tactics can be good, can be wrong sometimes, but the fire is not there. Now, is the manager entirely expected to bring that fire, to get players fighting and running and doing the basics of football at that level? Perhaps yes, but perhaps not entirely. So it's really an interesting conversations to have, and you can give me opinions about it, because listen, we've got to interrogate the real issues why Man United is not performing. Phil Jones came out and highlighted them. Phil Jones said, and I'll keep referring to him because all the things he was saying, this is a player who was there. And of course, for his first training with Erik Ten Hag did not go well at all for him. He was at Man United for nearly 12 years. So he knows what he's doing. He's still there and he watches these people train. But you see, here's the thing. You look at this Man United squad and you're thinking, where is the ambition? If a 36-year-old Johnny Evans is going to be the man of the match against a team like against a team like Aston Villa, where is the ambition in these players? So you look at all those things and you see a group that is out of sorts. And going now back to that meeting that Ineos had, don't be surprised by if these guys really made up their minds, and soon we will hear that they are not moving on with Erik, because the fire with the players, we know it has to be a process. But Erik Ten Hag himself is not doing himself any favors. He's not helping the situation by his lack of character, by his lack of personality. So there is no chemistry. You don't feel it even when you watch Man United games, honestly. I know people who don't want to watch Man United games. They will just fall and, okay, United has won, okay, good. Has lost. Because there is you see, with Man United, when Man United lost and you saw Sir Alex Ferguson sad, you felt sad. When Man United lost a game of football and you looked at the touchline, you're seeing Ferguson is not happy. As a fan of Man United, you would feel bad. You feel every emotion he's going through would be going through you. Right now, instead of feeling sad, you either don't feel anything or you're annoyed. It's one thing to be annoyed and sad. It's another thing. It's one thing to be annoyed. It's another thing to be sad. You're sad because it's emotion. You're annoyed because it's annoying. It doesn't make sense to you. It's wrong. So watching United today feels wrong, and when it's wrong, at times it gets too wrong and annoying. So it's really a difficult period. But I think honestly, let me even not fear to miss my words. I think the reality is Ineos are not going so far with Erik Ten Hag. I think with this lot of players that we have, I think the best they can do is try to get them a manager who can get them running and doing the basics, the fundamentals right. Forget about overloads and all. You just need to do the basics right. You see, against Aston Villa, we tried something I kept saying for the whole of last season. I kept saying Erik Ten Hag needs to play two holding midfielders, keep them disciplined, and free the number 10. I swear to God, the few games we've done that, we've been solid. We've looked like we are hard to beat because we are firm and solid. We are in we don't lose control. We keep the shape because Eriksen and Kobe were told instructed to sit. Forget about overloading. You sit and be patient. Let the number 10 and the forwards do their job. Now, it did not yield a goal, but at least there was progress. You saw a team that was organized and was not shaky. We are not looking like we are a second away from our next goal. We are not leaving acres of space in the middle. So you look at all these things and you're thinking, is this Erik Ten Hag just stubborn in terms of his tactics? Is he fascinated with his tactics that he doesn't want to adjust? What's the fascination with overloads? One player comes, then the second arrives, then the third arrives, but when you lose the ball, you've exposed yourselves in the back. I kept saying that. Phil Jones explained it. By the way, Phil Jones has the potential to be a very good coach from what I see, but also he can be one of the best pundits we can have in football. He's only 32. He has got a long way now to go with his career, but I love him. I love listening to him. What a guy. Anyway, my name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think, but I think soon we are going to be counting down to the axing of Erik Ten Hag. He's not going so far with Man United. Cheers.